weird how secular world is now starting to quote the Bible without quoting the Bible, right?
That's
it's like
right.
God's wisdom holds true whether you believe it or not. It's true, right? So you also look at, okay, so in line with that, there's this acceleration of gold and the deceleration of other things like bond markets, right? And so what that has opened the door to is institutions now saying, I think we should invest in physical assets like gold and silver.
We were able to see another record week for gold and silver. Many are starting to catch on to what this means for the future as 401ks can move to precious metals in February. And many discovered that they can do that now if they have reached 59 and a half years old. So Dr. Elliott has been getting this right. Let's find out what is going on. I want to remind you guys that Rumble, we're almost at 500,000 subscribers or followers on Rumble. They gave us a deal for all of you that have we've been reaching out to them and working with them to get 50% off for an annual premium. You can get that in the description box below. You just use the link. It has LT on it with Rumble, and you'll get that. So we look forward to seeing you for that one right there. Wanted to also give you a couple updates. CNN's already listing the names of the people that are in big trouble, and they're having panic attacks.
Who's next here? Because there, of course, have been kind of lists out, and as Scott pointed out, the president freely talks about a lot of the people that he wants to go after. So here are some people that...
So look how she just wanted to stop right here, and she says that Trump wants to go after. People that Trump wants to go after. Not look at these criminals, look at the alleged crimes that they've committed, look at the treason that they possibly committed, right? Because that's how they normally talk, allegedly, possibly, and all that. And these guys are in trouble. And you know what the penalty for treason is. No, we're just going to talk about it in the terms of President Trump's going after them.
Under investigation right now, John Bolton, John Brennan, Lisa Cook, of course, Federal Reserve, Chris Krebs, Adam Schiff, Jack Smith, Miles Taylor. The public calls to investigate Reid Hoffman, Mark Milley, George Soros, Fani Willis, Chris Wray. This is quite an array of people. Scott Jennings, one person we've heard about is John Bolton, although it sounds like that investigation may have begun under the Biden administration.
Yeah, that started under Biden. And from what I read in the newspaper, they did find classified material, according to the reporting, in his house. And so...
Oh, yeah. So, another thing that I saw, Trump just showed the world that Hamas is easier to negotiate with than the Democrats. Let that sink in. President Trump put this out. It's just been learned that China has taken an extraordinary aggressive position on trade and sending an extremely hostile letter to the world, stating that they were going to, effective November 1st, 2025, impose large-scale export controls on virtually every product they make, and some not even made by them. This affects all countries without exception and was obviously a plan devised by them years ago. It is absolutely unheard of in international trade and a moral disgrace in dealing with other nations based on the fact that China has taken this unprecedented position and speaking only for the USA and not other nations who are similarly threatened. Starting November 1st, 2025 or sooner, depending on any further actions or changes taken by China, the United States of America will impose a tariff of 100% on China, over and above any tariff that they are currently paying. Also, on November 1st, we will impose export controls on any and all critical software. It's impossible to believe that China would have taken such an action, but they have. And the rest is history. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. One big move after another. I'm going to go to Dr. Kirk Elliott now. Stick around because we've got a few more updates from Melania Trump and also from the reminder from an Intel drop that was posted for all of us to see. Folks, great to have Dr. Kirk Elliott with us once again. Always amazing updates. And you nailed it again, Dr. Kirk Elliott. We love it. Can't wait for this update on the big moves for silver. And we know.com/gold in the description box below this video. And you can also see that we have this QR code for you if you guys are watching on your TV or computer. Just take your phone up there and use your camera, and it'll take you straight to that link. We'll highlight at the end also for that QR code. So thank you. Welcome back, Dr. Kirk Elliott. Can't wait.
Oh my word, it's so great to be with you, LT. And this has been a wild day, right? So as we're recording this, right, silver, as we talked about, okay, so we talked about what happens after it reaches the all-time high, right? So all-time high, 48.70. Well, once that happens, and we've talked about briefly, there's no more technical resistance points, right? And you're going to see big jumps moving forward. Talked about that a couple of times, and sure enough, today it's exactly what happened, right? So silver is jumping up, and it hit 48.70, and then it exploded. Literally, we got to $51.75.
Oh yeah,
this morning, and then they knocked it back down right heavily. I mean, it was pretty stout, knockdown. But you know what? The knockdown is still higher than the all-time high, right? It's like sitting at 49 and what is it as we speak? Let me just look real quick, right?
Yeah,
because I want to see what it's doing in the aftermarket here. So we're sitting at 49.37. So that was the knockdown price. The old all-time high was 48.70. So it's like, okay, this is really fantastic and very, very strong. Now, there's something technical happening that's being driven by some major fundamental forces, right? So there's a concept that you and I had talked about called backwardation, right? So what is backwardation? Normally, you'll see spot price, and the futures price is higher, right? Because obviously something's growing. You expect the price for it in the future to be higher than what it is today. Now, nobody on the planet is thinking that silver is going to be lower in the future than it is today.
Yeah.
So why in the world would we have this thing called backwardation, which means the spot price is higher than the next futures month contract price? It's like, and it's not by a small amount.
Right.
It was like by $2.50. So if you look at the spot price, it's like literally $2.50 higher than next month's futures contract delivery price. It's like, wait a second. Do people think that silver is going to actually come down? No, they don't. But what's happening is once you've reached that all-time high, which we did, you've got the manufacturers of the world who do forward contracts, meaning they'll lock in a price on silver if they need it, a few months into the future, thinking, okay, we're Sony, we're going to have to develop all these TVs and everything. Let's make sure that our cost of goods are solid, right? We're going to lock in a future price.
Right.
Well, they're so afraid that the prices are going to go up a bunch higher that, like, saying everybody is an extreme exaggeration, but like literally, like everybody's wanting physical delivery like right now. Saying we don't want to wait for future prices. We need delivery now, right? Because they don't want to wait for prices to go up in the future. So there's such a demand in London, like what we talked about last week. London being depleted on their silver within 4 months from now.
Right.
They need silver in-house to fulfill physical delivery because they don't have it. So what's happening? Current price, they're offering more to fulfill the future delivery.
Right.
So not only is silver going up, but they need to fulfill delivery requirements like now. So that's why you see this thing called backwardation. This is like one of the strongest, like I've never seen anything quite like it. Like strongest formations or technical things, to use layman's terms, that could happen to prove that the prices are going to go up because people are requesting physical delivery. And when there's no supply and a lot of demand, prices are going to go up. So what does that mean for you and I and everybody, all the and we knowers out there? It's like, if you're the holders, of what is needed, you're going to benefit from the higher price, right? So, I mean, I'm just literally beside myself, happy and giddy as all of our, 35,000 plus clients all over. It's like they're all at a profit position except the ones who got in within the last week, because silver is moving so rapidly.
Right.
That I've got clients that have said, Kirk, we almost feel guilty that our portfolios have gone up so much. Can you help us set up a family foundation so we can start giving it away? Like, what? Hey, okay, I'm not an estate lawyer, right? I don't set up family foundations. But that question, it gave me goosebumps and it almost made me cry. It's like, we're not just using silver to provide for people's retirements or for future generations of their family. Now it's like this, spread it out and helping those and giving it away. I mean, isn't this what Christianity is all about, right? God gave us his son gave us life. We are to model giving, right? And there's blessing from giving. It's like, how amazing that silver, literally silver, was the catalyst for people. Actually, 2 times in the last 2 days, people have told me, I kind of feel guilty that my portfolio is up so much. It's like, okay, that just shows me the heart of our clients who are amazing givers, and they have the right view of money. Right. And so many people don't. So many people are motivated by greed. But here's this, and a lot of the world, most of the world is motivated by greed. I'm not going to lie, which is this fear of missing out. And the world is getting into gold and silver because it's going up. And that's one reason. It's this fear of missing out.
Right.
But we have this amazing opportunity. I believe, LT, a once in a generation type opportunity to take advantage of something that's really great. Number one, you have supply and demand because silver is running out. Number two, massive amounts of demand for every single thing that electronics are used for, and batteries and electric vehicles and AI chips and all that stuff, right? The demand isn't going away.
Right.
Number three, as I look at what silver has done year to date, 70% it's up. 70.
Oh, wow.
Even after the pullback from today, it's still up 70%.
Wow, man.
I mean, I just get goosebumps thinking about how silver is the catalyst to people creating a legacy, right? And down the road, we'll lock in those profits in silver and we'll roll it into gold. It's not that I think that silver is the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Right.
It's the greatest thing for right now. Right. So another thing that you and I have talked about off air, and we've kind of referenced it a little bit over the last few weeks, and that is silver and gold move for reasons outside of supply and demand.
Correct.
Right? And so let's take gold, for example. Why does gold move? Gold moves when people lose trust and confidence in the government. Right? So would you say that people actually trust the government right now?
Not at all.
I mean, it was not a rhetorical question. It's like a legit question. It's like, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Now you've got people on our side of the camp that absolutely love what Trump is doing. He's doing an amazing job. You've got people on the other side that can't stand what he's doing, right? So there's this massive divide where people simply don't trust the government. And then you look at the government shutdown. I mean, the IRS just furloughed 50% of its workforce this morning. It's like, whoop.
Yeah.
Well, so, and you've got all these other, people just don't trust what's going on. Now, not just here, but globally. Look at what's happening in France.
Right.
Macron is probably out there. You've got all these things that are happening, and people aren't trusting the leadership in China right now because their economy is absolutely in shambles. Look, they just got a new prime minister in Japan.
Well, yeah.
Right? Is it prime minister or president? What do they have in Japan?
Right.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, she's really big on stopping illegal immigration, and she basically, most Japanese feel like that was a a huge victory for them because they've had issues too with them importing so many illegals. So yeah, she's a big deal.
So again, somebody got ousted, somebody else went in. It's like distrust. There's really no continuity of anything right now. So that causes gold to go up, that causes silver to go up. But the other thing is, what about the banking system? Right? When people start viewing that their banks are undercapitalized and in trouble, they're going to start pulling money out of the system. This is why cryptocurrency and gold and silver are going up, because they're both out of the system. Right? Cryptocurrency, decentralized blockchain, whether it's XRP or Solana or Ethereum or Bitcoin or whatever, it's out of the normal financial system as we know it, and so is gold and silver, right? So there's this distrust, and you look at like some people like Ray Dalio, for example, Bridgewater, amazing investor. He's been all over the news over the last couple of years. He just keeps coming out with these nuggets of wisdom, right? It's like, okay, whether you agree or disagree with his politics, right? The guy is a brilliant investor. And what does he say? He said, this is going to be like the 70s all over again, except kind of like on steroids this time. Right? Because in the 70s, you had an oil crisis. Yeah, we've got that now. In America, we were coming off the Carter years, which were abysmal economically, right? You had high inflation, high taxes. I just saw that the highest tax rate in America for 2026 went up 2%, right? So it's like, oh, nuts. That's not okay. But so it went up into the upper 30s, right? I think it's like 37%. When Carter was president, the highest marginal tax bracket was like 70%. Like, oh, it's like, so people were discontent. You had massive inflation, massive unemployment, the dollar stunk, and it was stagflation. You had a slowing of the economy, printing money like there was no tomorrow. Yeah. And that caused inflation while people weren't working. It's the worst of all scenarios. Dalio says we're actually going into the 70s again, except not just in America. It's like this global thing of debt has caught up with every government around the world.
Yep, sure has.
Like every one of them. They can't print their way out of it without creating an inflationary death spiral. Boy, they can't. What are they going to do with their unemployment when the US dollar and America has been the catalyst for so much of what the globalists have thought is growth? Like the US funded NATO. Like the U.S. funded the United Nations. The U.S. funded all these weird things with USAID, right? It's like, why in the world were we ever funding that stuff? But a lot of the world just lost revenue because Trump is pulling in the reins and saying, no, we want that for Americans, right? We're not going to fund the rest of the world anymore. So the world is kind of economically in shambles. And so that's what Dalio is saying. It's like, this is something that we haven't seen in like literally 50 years.
Oh, wow.
It's going to happen again. Now, you add to that the debasement trade is what I would call it, right? So when people lose confidence in the system, they start to look for something that's real. So what would that be? Usually it's like real estate. Right? People really like real estate because it's tangible, it's real, you can hold on to it, it can't go bankrupt, you're still going to have the land. But it's basically tangible assets is the debasement trade. This is where gold and silver are now going up as a function of people simply don't trust anything anymore.
That's right.
So that to me is this black swan kind of event. The social structure, the social fabric of the world is just adding oxygen to the fire of supply and demand.
Right.
And it's almost like this perfect storm that you can't stop. And this is where I get excited.
So here, the Zero Hedge article you sent me, gold has crossed $4,000 per ounce just 200 days after it passed $3,000. I mean, that's another, that's a big line there. What began as a slow march from crisis to crisis is transformed into an accelerated sprint that is reshaping how savers and investors, policymakers worldwide view the world's oldest monetary metal. That's biblical.
Mhm.
Biblical metal.
It's weird how secular world is now starting to quote the Bible without quoting the Bible, right?
That's
It's like
right. That's
God's
right.
wisdom holds true whether you believe it or not. It's true, right? So um you also look at, okay, so in line with that, there's this acceleration of gold and the deceleration of other things like bond markets, right? And so
Right.
so what that has opened the door to is institutions now saying, I think we should invest in physical assets like gold and silver.
Mm.
Right? Like last week, we talked about JP Morgan changing their allocation to include 20% gold.
Right.
That's
Right.
never happened before.
Right.
And you've got Jeffrey Gundlach, the Bond King, doing the same. Other big banks are now starting to say, let's start to put gold or precious metals, silver too, into our allocation mix.
Mm.
And it's like, oh, I can't think of a time when that's ever been the case, other than before the Federal Reserve in the early 1900s, when gold was the actual backing of the dollar.
Right. Right.
I mean, we haven't seen institutions thinking that gold was a good thing, like really ever.
Mm.
Now that they are. So what is that going to add? More rocket fuel to that rocket ship you just had on the screen, because now there's this whole new layer of demand for gold and silver. Institutions, banks, hedge funds that wouldn't ever consider physical metals before, because all they do is stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and private equity and private debt and things of
Right.
that nature.
Right. Right. Right.
This is shaping up literally to be a perfect storm in our benefit as we look into the future a little bit and say, okay, how, when God was mentioning the lineages throughout the Bible, and you go through somebody begat somebody and somebody begat somebody, and then there was the sons of Issachar who understood the times and they knew what to do.
Right.
Like whenever he mentions something other than just a name, it's like, what is it about them that caught God's attention that he would actually say even one sentence about them?
Mm.
They understood the times and they knew what to do.
Mm.
That's my prayer for this generation, is that we would be like modern day sons and daughters of Issachar who understood the times and knew what to do. And you know what? God's provision and protection comes with that wisdom and that discernment that comes from, you can't get it from man.
Mm.
How do you get it? From meditating on his word day and night, right? And so then that wisdom comes in and we start to do what has been contrary to what the world thinks. Like, I know that it's no small thing when people will hear you and I talk, and then they call me out of the blue and are my office, and they have no idea, but yet they invest their retirement assets with us. It's like, that's a scary thing.
Yeah.
That is a huge leap of faith, to put that much faith into somebody that you don't know, that you've just, obviously they trust you.
Right.
And they like what they hear. And it's like, we're going to take this leap of faith and invest in somebody. And then I look at all my clients' portfolios, and off the charts, they're all positive, except for people who have invested over the last week because they haven't had enough time to recover the 8% cost of ownership. But that'll happen real shortly.
Right.
So I just get verklempt. I get a little giddy sometimes. And it's like, wow, God, all I did was heard his voice, set up the company that way that we did, which was contrary to what my mentor said was even possible. It's like, Kirk, you can't do 8% and zero. There's not enough margin to even have a company like that. It's like, yes, there is.
Yeah.
Well, how do you know? Well, because kind of God told me to do it this way, right? It's like, so, but yet it works when you treat people like family, and we don't sell semi-numismatic, rare, collectible, commemorative things where people don't recover from those premiums, right? It's just simply bullion. One thing for everybody to remember: maximize your ounces, minimize your cost. If you buy collectible things, you're maximizing your cost, right? It's the opposite of what should be done and for a wise and prudent portfolio. So I just get stoked when you put all of these things together, all these puzzle pieces we just talked about: the global debt implosion, the supply and demand, the backwardation, reaching all-time highs, no more technical resistance points, Trump's executive order that's going to allow not basically cryptocurrency and commodities, like physical commodities and 401ks starting February.
Yeah.
And I've had so many clients literally that didn't even know they could move over their 401ks right now if they were over 59 and a half. I mean, literally, it's been call after call after call. It's like, Kirk, I didn't know. It's like, yes, if you're over 59 and a half, you can. And they've rolled into gold and silver out of their 401ks into their IRAs like over the last 2 weeks.
Oh, amazing.
And look at what's been happening with gold, silver since then. It's exploded.
Yeah.
And now they realize, oh, wow, there is a light at the end of this financial tunnel for us. And I just get excited. I know that I'm just actually very excited today, but it's a good time to be excited. I mean, people's finances are changing, and it's changing lives, LT.
Yeah. I mean, when we came on board with you about 2.5 years ago now, the first thing that we did was we rolled our IRA over to you, both of us, my wife and I. And that was when it was, I think, $18, $19. So now we're up to what, 40, 47, 48, you said. So yeah, we're pretty happy.
You should be. I mean, if you got a frown on your face after that, there's something really wrong with you, right?
Yep. Yeah, we took advantage of getting silver from you also, just because you can only bring so much into your IRA, at the age that we're at. So yeah, I mean, we're just trying to maximize on it. We're watching it grow, and it's been phenomenal. And your team has been great. You make it so easy. When we received our first, contact with you guys, just one step after another made it so simple. And that's the part that was really difficult for me sometimes. Even though I can run 3D programs on video, when it comes to purchasing precious metals, I get a little nervous. So how do I do this? Next thing you know, I'm like, click here. How are you doing today? Don't forget this. Okay, great. I'm like, it's done. Wow, look how easy that was. This is great. And you guys provide prayer support too when they call in, and that's another big deal for many of us, because we're just we want to have a biblical mindset, and to have your team do that for all of us has just been phenomenal. We really appreciate it.
Well, and all of this was a divine appointment, right? I remember I've been reminiscing a lot, like just because I'm so thankful for what these markets have done in clients' lives, and all of the end we knowers that have called and we're literally helping change their lives financially. I remember when we first met, right? You were at a conference, and as usual, you had like a line of bajillion people long waiting to see you. And I got in the line.
Yeah.
I waited forever. Literally, I waited forever.
Yeah.
And then it's like, hey, LT, I'm Kirk. I wanted to meet you. I'm a big fan, right? And that's how our relationship started. And I mean, it's just things like that, I think, are divine appointments, right? It's like,
amen.
And then look what happened after that. This is just what happens when God places two people together that should be together, right? And it's just exciting to see what's going to come, not just what we've seen already, but what's coming in the future, I think, is going to dwarf everything that we've already seen in the growth of silver. I think the best is still yet to come. People haven't missed the boat.
That's right.
Have not missed the boat, because I think where we're headed is much more than what we've already seen.
Amen. Amen. Folks, you see that QR code up there on the top of the screen for you to get to the link, andweknow.com/gold. Very simple. You can type that in your browser if you don't have time to click in the link below, and you'll be able to reach out to Dr. Kirk Elliott and his team, and it'll change your life like it changed ours. Thank you so much, Dr. Kirk Elliott. Looking forward to the next updates. Just amazing every single week. So just wanted to give you this reminder with the shutdown. The Trump administration's confirming thousands of federal employees received the reduction in force notices across 7 departments. That's Department of Commerce, Department of Education, Energy, Health and Human Services. They actually lost 1,200 employees there. Housing and Urban Development, he got rid of 442 employees there. The Department of Homeland Security and Department of Treasury lost 1,446 employees. Wow. And just in case you guys are wondering why your neighbors that watch CNN or MSNBC or The View, their latest talking point that they're pushing into their brain, in case you guys hear about this, just want to make sure you know their latest one.
There's no Antifa. This is an entirely imaginary organization. There is not an Antifa.
Like, I don't even know what Antifa is. There is no group.
It's not even like far-right groups like the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers. Compared to right-wing extremists, Antifa-linked violence is rare and limited.
It isn't an organization. It is in many ways mythology.
It's not like the Proud Boys or the Oath Keepers, sort of defined terrorist organizations with leadership that leads violence.
It's not a highly organized movement. It's a moniker. It's not a unified group like the Proud Boys are.
Things like Antifa are things that are thought up.
It's all in this guise of going after Antifa, which is nothing. There's no organization called Antifa.
Nobody's a member of Antifa because it doesn't exist. They are just declaring into existence something that doesn't exist.
There is no Antifa organization, so maybe that's good for social media, but it really is non-existent.
So that's going to be placed in the brains of all of our brainwashed friends that are constantly on their news channels, and they're going to start believing it, even though it's been in their face all these years, even though many of the businesses were burned down by Antifa, billions of dollars, all types of problems, suffering, shooting lasers into police eyes, burning cars, beating people up, the whole nine. And of course, they're comparing them, saying basically they're nothing like the Proud Boys. They're the organized right-wing extremists. Just have to continue to go after them. And here's just want to make sure you guys saw the mugshots of the Antifa as they get arrested. I don't know if you guys are looking at your screen, but if you are, feel sorry for them. They probably had hardly any love growing up in their families, and they end up in these debased minds, filled with debauchery, filled with nothing but emptiness and hate and darkness in their lives. And that these folks breaks your heart. It breaks your heart to look at their face and realize and understand what they must have come from to make them turn out to where they are today. And remember, many of these are paid off. They're given money to continue down whatever road that they're going on, most of them probably involved in heavy use of substances. Speaking of children, Melania was out yesterday. She actually walked out at 11:04. So at like 11.4, we're told on the cue board, 11.4 is where we have the Podesta arrest, right? So thinking about Podesta, knowing that he traffics children, he's one of the biggest traffickers and satanic worshipers out there. Listen to what she says, and you'll also notice that she mentions the word back channels.
Much has unfolded since President Putin received my letter last August. He responded in writing, signaling a willingness to engage with me directly and outlining details regarding the Ukrainian children residing in Russia. And since then, President Putin and I have had an open channel of communication regarding the welfare of these children. For the past 3 months, both sides have participated in several back-channel meetings and calls.
Back channels.
All in good faith. We have agreed to cooperate with each other for the benefit of all people involved in this war. My representative has been working directly with President Putin's team to ensure the safe reunification of children with their families between Russia and Ukraine. In fact, 8 children have been rejoined with their families during the past 24 hours.
Amazing, because we're told on the board back channels are important. Know your history and you will know why. Makes me think of this, sum of all fears. Well, we know yesterday, Dan Scavino released Nessun Dorma. We put that in the intro. In case you missed it, go check it out. Another thing that was caught here was Melissa Redpill. Great job, Freedom Force. She said, would you look at that? Melania wore the same exact outfit that she did during the time that President Trump said calm before the storm and the very first air cue. Does it seem kind of stormy? Some backgrounds a lot of people simply don't know is the fact that Trump asked, do you know what this represents? That this he was referring to was Q. Look at his hands, his first air cue. It happened October 5th, 2017, 23 days prior to the first Q post, beginning the greatest military-civilian intelligence alliance operation the world has ever seen. We are part of something special. So you'll notice, if we can zoom in, you'll see that she's wearing the same outfit. So 11-4, she comes out. 11.4 would be Podesta, the marker for the arrest. He's the biggest trafficker of children, big name that we've seen, obviously. And then the storm comms with her outfit. Folks, they are sending us comms, and back channels are important. Sum of all fears, all linked together. And so yesterday I was trying to remember President Trump was using all of these pictures of him pointing his finger at you, and he had different states like New Hampshire, the one we're looking at here that President Trump put out there. Grasshopper sent out this reminder. It's interesting because it was released at 12:03:46. So if you go to 46:12 and do a mirror of that particular drop, it matches what? In reality, they're not after me, they're after you. I'm just in the way. And I couldn't remember that quote yesterday. We've got it now, and this will be a good screenshot for you guys to capture. So very interesting, all that's going on and playing out. I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you once again for your continued guidance and direction in our life. We bring all this before you, and we ask that you continue to bring protection for those that are on the front lines, that are in harm's way. Many of the state police, the ICE operators, National Guard, Marines, and so many of our military involved in removing the filth from this earth and putting them in places where they can get what they deserve. And we ask that you continue to help us in the decisions being made in our own lives, around our own family, and how we deal with these things on a daily basis. We definitely need your help. We bring this all before you in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, our Savior. Amen. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful day. Please remember that we have our cruise available for all those that are wondering. We have many seats available, rooms available for you. We look forward to seeing you March 15th through 22nd of 2026. It's going to be a great time. For now, this is LT Semper Fi with Them We Know, signing out.